Yay. Hi, everyone. My name is Yeon. I'm a privacy engineer at Mozilla working out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Volunteer for a Code for Tulsa specific in a project named CourtBot. And today I'll be talking more about what CourtBot does and how you can contribute and why you should consider contributing, especially for Oktoberfest. So to get right to it, here are some anecdotals from researches that we kind of built on top of on the reason why we decided to work on CourtBot. So reminder messages cut failure to appear rates by 26% from a New York City study, and 63% of those who received a text message reminder paid all of their outstanding fines compared to only 48%, which is from a Tulsa study. And what CourtBot tries to do is we try to send a reminder message to a phone number that you provide on a court date that's coming up. And initially, when CourtBot was at its early beginnings, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, we had 3 separate numbers, and that was for Muskogee County, Rogers County, and Tulsa County. And when we wanted to scale this up for the entirety of Oklahoma, we realized that trying to set up a phone number for each individual counties and also trying to maintain all of that is really hard. But we had the restriction of setting up the different numbers for different counties because our case numbers were being reused in Oklahoma. So why do we change this into a single number? Well, as I mentioned previously, we had a scalability issue where we have to end up creating an individual number for different counties. And there's 77 counties in Oklahoma, which is just too costly, too cumbersome, and too much human power to reach out to all the county governments and make that happen. Which resulted into the current version of CourtBot right now, which is a single number, an 800 number, where you can message to start a conversation to get reminders for your court dates coming up. And all of this right now is supported by these technology on the background running. So we have the conversational part being handled by Twilio and AWS. So whenever you send a message to that 800 number before, Twilio handles it and sends it back to AWS. And the AWS handles all the conversational piece, which is making sure that the person's intents are being carried across and being translated to a computer readable language, as well as handling any of like edge cases, like if a person types Tulsa, but the Tulsa was incorrect and typed with an R or something. It knows to handle those kind of issues with the built-in packages available on the Lex and Lambda side. On the other hand, we also have a service that is being hosted on Heroku right now. And that is composed of 3 different things. There's a OSCN package available at PIP, Python Package Index, which allows you to get the case information. And then we also have the service that's running for an API endpoint to have a database that maintains and sends reminders up, which is available on the Code for Tulsa CourtBot-Python. And then, as I mentioned previously, the Twilio to use and send messages for. As I mentioned previously, this is a second iteration of CourtBot in Code for Tulsa especially. Before any of us here in Tulsa decided to work on it, we actually had someone in Anchorage who stood up CourtBot, which was our initial inspirations to bring this to Tulsa. Philip here at Tulsa created stood up a JavaScript version of this. And then John created a package called OSCN that allows you to scrape the dockets and cases available in the OSCN website, available for everyone in Oklahoma for looking up cases. And then Luke converted the code base from the JavaScript to Python because that was more something within his fields of expertise. And Max helped out a lot with making sure that the website looked presentable. It was mobile first or more mobile friendly. And then I came in to kind of help wrap it up with the Twilio, Lex, and Lambda, and some minor Python packages and helps. In conclusion, I generally say this to everyone, and I give Diana's information because she is much more organized than I am. But if you have any questions or would like to have partnerships with Code for Tulsa or CourtBot, I recommend reaching out to Diana in Slack or in email. If this is a project that is interesting to you, I just want to mention that there are several ways you can contribute. And I have over here a checklist of things you can do to see how you can contribute. We currently have issues that are filed out in our repository labeled with good first issue. And the label is kind of important because it means that there has been some thought placed into it, or there is an ongoing conversation, which is why the issue should be picked up. And also because we know exactly what the developer or the engineer or the contributor can work on and how long it can take. So those labels are generally placed to help you. But if you feel like there's any other issues available that you think is good for you to pick up, feel free to, comment on there or mention it to one of our Slack channels. But if once you find an issue that you like, what we want you to do is first ask whether or not you can be assigned to the issue. We do this because sometimes there may be people who are already working on it and they just forgot to kind of mention it on the issue or assign themselves. Or it could be that the issue needs to have more conversations, which is why it may not be a best idea to assign yourself immediately. Once you're assigned with the given issue, then you can continue the conversation either on the issue or the pull request that you created, or we can have a more conversation in Code for Tulsa Slack channel or the CourtBot channel. Finally, once you're ready to file a pull request, feel free to ask for a review at Code for Tulsa or CourtBot, because many of us are volunteers and we may not know that there's a pull request that's available for review. If you have any questions, again, feel free to join us on our channels, or Diana could also help, or feel free to surface it here now. That's it.